Hello guys, today we will be doing what if Subaru had his own leveling system. So how this leveling system works, he starts with 10 strength, 10 agility, 10 endurance, 10 intelligence, 10 mana, and it shows level, stats, skills, quests, titles, evolution progress. So every time he trains, works out, wins a fight, discovers something new, or discovers secrets, he gets a stat point. So now let's get into the story. So we start off seeing a 18-year-old Subaru getting from the gas station and then getting teleported. And he sees a blue screen saying, "Hello, not Subaru Natsuki. This is your journey to become the strongest." And then it shows him his stats, skills, quests, titles, and all that. His level, 0. Stats, I already told you guys that. Skills, returned by death, which he is confused by, but he understands quickly. So yeah, and we see a Subaru walking around until he gets into an alleyway and sits down to check this more out. And he can see that he has 5 stat points. So he puts 10 stat points. He puts 5 into strength, 5 into agility, and that's it. And this is when Subaru sees 3 guys walking towards him and telling him to give them everything that he has. And Subaru refuses, and then the big guy runs, and Subaru, out of desperation, punches him and sends him flying. Like how his stat thing works, it's not like Jinwoo's where where the strength is kind of weak. No, it's strong. He's strong because you guys know what type of people Subaru has to go against. So yeah, he ends up kicking all of their asses. And now we see Felt run, and Subaru just stays there watching her jump. And Subaru looks at the blue screen and it says 15 points. So he adds 5 points more to strength. Now he has 20. 5 more points to agility. Now he has 20. 5 more. He gives 3 points to intelligence and 2 2 to endurance and 3 to intelligence. So now his intelligence is better. And then he sees a silver-haired girl with long elfish ears walk and accuse him of stealing her insignia, which he denies, and he offers to help her, and she says, I don't know. And this is when Puck comes out and says, "Mealy, I don't feel any malicious attempt from him." And Amelia says, "Fine, you can help." And this is when they walk off, and this is when they see the lost child. And Subaru ends up going to the lost child and asking her why is she over here, and saying that she lost her mom. And Subaru saying, "Okay, I'll help you." And this is when Subaru grabs her and tells her to point out her mom, and they run around for a little bit until the little girl sees her green-haired mom. I think her mom was green-haired. I don't know. And green-haired dad. And Subaru instantly remembering this guy from when he tried to buy an apple. So, yeah. And this is... Oh, I forgot one more stat thing that doesn't say on here. Healing. So, yeah, and this is when... Well, he also got a quest thing from this, but he didn't realize. So this is when he gets 20 points. I know this is a lot for the start, but trust me, he'll need it for later. This is when he ends up going to somewhere real quick, and he tells Amelia that he'll be right back, and he splits them out equally. He adds 10 to it's not equal. He adds 10 to healing, and he just feels something happen, and he adds 5 to strength and 5 to agility. So now he has 20 healing, 25 agility, 25 strength, 2 endurance, and 12 endurance, and 13 intelligence, and he can feel the rush coming to him. So this is when he goes to Amelia, and he suggests that they ask the shop owner, the Apple guy, where they could find her insignia. So Subaru goes up to him and says, does he know a blonde-haired girl with a red ribbon on her hair that is fast and that is short? And the old man instantly says, are you talking about Felt? And he says, oh, do you know where we can find her? And he says, she's usually at the loot house if she stole something from you. And Subaru instantly says thank you, and him and Amelia go to the dumps, where they ask around to find where they can find the loot house, and somebody tells them. This is when they get to the loot house, and Amelia and Subaru go in. This is when Subaru, and they're earlier than the first time before, and so they wait. And old man Rom asks if they're trying to trade anything, and they said yes for a insignia, and said, oh, that's worth at least 20 God coins or holy coins. And Subaru says, what is this worth? And he pulls out his phone and, what does it do? He says, is this a media people are talking about? A media? And then he says, it can, you can see yourself past in time, or you can take a picture in time. And unlike last time, he ends up taking a video of Amelia and shows it to old man Rom. And he's like, this is at least 100 holy coins. And Subaru says, oh, then let's just wait. It depends on what the other ones traded, though, old man Rom says. And this is when Felt comes back and asks, what are you doing here? And Amelia instantly gets into an argument with her, and Rom tells the situation about how that boy's media is 100 holy coins, and Felt says, well, my person's offer is 20 holy coins, so you get it. But Felt instantly remembers, wait, they might have extra. So let's just wait to see. This is when there is a knock on the door, and Felt goes to open it and sees Elsa. And this is when Elsa pulls out the holy coins and says, 20 holy coins for it, right? So here you go. And this is when Felt says, sorry, but this guy's willing to pay 100 holy coins. And this is when Elsa says, okay, if that's how you want to play. This is when she pulls out her knife and throws it at Felt. But with Subaru's now great speed, he runs and catches it with his new endurance, and it breaks. And this is when he goes to punch Elsa, and her gang sent flying, and they get into a fight with Elsa throwing her knives and it coming back to her. Some are bouncing off Subaru but also hurting him. And this is when Felt ends up going to get help, and Amelia calling Puck and Puck helping by supporting with ice. And this is when Puck says, Mealy, I think my time is running up, so I'm gonna have to go. And this is when, while Amelia doesn't see, Elsa goes and kicks her, sending her flying, and Amelia gets up. And this is when Old Man Rom tries to stop Elsa, but she slices him, like not in half, but slices his stomach, which happens to injure him a lot. And this is when Subaru tells Amelia to heal Old Man Rom, and Amelia says, but you're more injured, and Subaru says, I'm fine, and he starts to heal. So yeah, and this is when Subaru ends up saying that he is annoying and that he's gonna get this fight over with, and Elsa saying the same thing, and her actually starting to regenerate, but like real slowly, because in the anime Subaru couldn't do anything to her, which yeah, and he's wearing her down a lot, like she's really weak right now. This is when Subaru ends up putting all his force to one fist and saying the anime reference, one for all, and then just Elsa using fire magic, which I think fire magic she has. I don't know. I'm just gonna say that for this video. And she tries to slice Subaru with a fire dagger, I think. Yeah, fire dagger. She imbued fire magic from her gate, and then Subaru punched her, but that wasn't the hand, so he then punched her in her weak spot where Subaru kept punching her, and she just got sent flying, or gets sent flying. This is when Subaru ends up seeing the blue leveling thing pop up, and it keeps giving him levels until he's level 20. And he has 40 stats to equalize. And this is when we get a view of Elsa barely surviving and running or going. And this is when we see the door open to see Reinhard and Felt there. And Reinhard with a different sword because his sword won't work. He doesn't know if his sword will work, so he has an extra sword. And him just seeing the chaos and asking what happened. And Subaru tells him what happened. And this is gonna be the end of the end of the first part of what if Subaru had his own leveling system. So peace out.